Hey guys, what's going on? Ned here. Just wanted to give you all a bit of a quick update before the start of this one. So what you're about to listen to is actually a older episode that we recorded sort of right at the start, actually, probably the second or third episode we ever recorded, but it's never been released officially. Essentially, we were trying to get the regular episode out, obviously as usual, but had a bit of a sort of timetable clash. We couldn't get it together this week. And Callum's he's going to be away for the next 4 or 5 weeks on his physio placement as part of his degree. So he's going to be up in Cairns in far north Queensland in a hospital there doing some clinical stuff. So he probably won't actually be on in his regular capacity as one of the hosts. We might Skype him in sort of 10 or 15 minutes a week, just see what he's up to and that sort of thing. But yeah, moving forward for the next 4 or 5 weeks, he won't be on. So he's been trying to get that all organised at his end, and we couldn't really get it together this week. But we thought instead of just leaving everyone, waiting for some more content for another week, that we'd still put something out. So as I said, this is an older episode that we did. So the audio quality is not quite as crisp as the newer ones. We are still sort of learning a little bit about the editing and the software and that sort of thing. So still very listenable, but hopefully you guys still enjoy it. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to do the topic that we had planned to do, which is on the basis of having Mike Israetel on in the most recent podcast and him having a PhD that's pretty alpha, does getting jacked and shredded make you better at sport. We thought, what other bro science-esque topics are deserving of a PhD or a study done on them? So that's what we've got coming up next week. So it'll be myself, Ryan, and hopefully another surprise guest, and we're going to be chatting about that. So stay tuned for that, but definitely drop a listen to this episode still. It's one of the funnier ones from the early days, I think, and hopefully you enjoy. Thanks, guys.
No.
Many years ago. I can just tell you right now, Ryan heard Callum say, I've taken a lot of weird stuff, and his brain is like, ding, 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 ding. We're talking supplements, Ryan.
This is on the record.
I've racked up dextrose before.
What? Why?
It's fun.
Just shelve it too?
No, definitely not. No.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. That's definitely the clip we're using at the start of this episode. All right. Call it. Welcome back to another episode of It's All You Bro, the gym and fitness podcast, progressively overloading, 1 week, 1 beer at a time. I'm Ned and joined again with the boys, Ryan and Cal.
Cheers.
Yo, back at it again, week two, checking it out. We have an awesome category today, awesome theme of the show today. We're doing a gym starter pack tier list. So, for those of you not familiar with the tier list, it's basically this thing that everyone does on the internet these days, and they pick a category and they rank different things from the highest tier to the lowest tier within that category. So with the gym theme that we're pumping today, we've got 3 bigger categories: gym equipment, lifting accessories, and supplements, and a heap within each of those categories that the 3 of us are going to rank from A tier, so the best of the best, B, C, D, all the way down to E tier, the absolute trash. Avoid this like the plague. And we've all done this separately, so I think this could be fun. We could have definitely some big hot takes based on our own personal opinions. So how you feeling, guys?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think we all have a slightly different approach to training too, so it might come through in this in the tier list we have.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Feeling good.
Ready to rumble.
Ready to rumble. All right. So the idea at the end of today, whether if it's gym equipment, if you're new to the gym, or you're joining a new gym, based on the A's and the B tiers, that's the equipment you want to be able to look for. You want your gym to have. You want to be able to be using the most. And then I guess with the lifting accessories and the supplements, if you've got money to spend, here's what's actually good bang for buck, and then here's what's probably not worth your money. So that's the general theme carrying over from last week, doing the sort of intro to the gym, new sort of stuff. So we've got a lot of stuff on here. A lot of these I think we'll be able to probably just hoon through, to be honest. So we just got a regular Ollie bar, just a good Olympic bar. So I think that's probably pretty unanimous.
Yeah, I'm going A tier, top rung.
Definitely
A tier.
And I'm putting in that A tier because I want a good Olympic bar. I don't want a trash bar.
You want a bar that actually swivels?
Bar that swivels, a bar that's not bent, and a bar that weighs 20 kilos, not 17.6 kilos.
Yes.
Yes.
They're skimping on the metal.
Yeah. Something that's, if you're loading up for a squat or something, it's going to be a bit stiffer, so it's not going to bend too much.
And the general rule with ollie bars, right, is the shinier the bar, the shitter it is, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
You're covered in chalk and some rough yelling.
Rusted, okay, cool. So that's a pretty easy one. And look, I think
Easy one to start with.
most gyms, actually not most gyms, all gyms have an ollie bar. Most have a decent-ish one at least. So next one, we're sticking with the bar theme. We've got trap bar. So the old trap bar.
Trappies. I put mine in B tier for trap bar. I rate a trap bar, but not A tier for me.
I put it in A tier.
Oh.
I put mine in A as well.
Yeah.
I just think, I think probably maybe this is more from like a coaching perspective, but it's a lot easier to obviously coach a trap bar dead than a conventional deadlift.
I put the trap bar there because it has a good carryover to bringing the groceries in from Coles.
That's what you rate? That's what you lift
That's
for?
one. I
Farmers
think there's actual functional carryover here.
Brian lifts to do one
Carryover.
trip in the car.
Carryover, you know what I'm saying?
I think we should be at the point now. I don't think we are, but trap bar should just be like a non-specialty bar, right? It should just
Correct.
be every gym has a trap bar. Like, don't care if you're Fernwood, your Jets, your whatever. Like, they should all just have trap bars. But like a lot of clubs, I think a lot of gyms still don't have trap bars. I think it should be pretty much on par with an ollie bar as just like. That's just something gym should have. But I agree, you don't need it, I guess. So I'd be happy with it either A or B, but
It'd probably make up, if I'm talking about all my deadlifting with clients, maybe 5% of total deadlifts. But it's still good to have as the option. Good for variety sometimes. Good for touch and go deadlifts as opposed to the barbell.
Yeah, for sure. Good accessory to chuck in.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's up there, A minus, B plus, give or take. Next one, we got the old safety squat bar. So
SSB.
A.
Oh,
Category
A
A.
tier for Brian. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, you said you use probably a trap bar like 5% of the time with clients of all deadlifts you do. What would safety squat bar be versus squats? Like of all squats you do?
Similar 5-10%.
Yeah.
But I do like teaching people with the front squat variation with safety bar. A is a bit more comfortable than setting up for a normal front squat and on a barbell. And the second reason is to keep people upright in that squat. If they can learn that, then get them over to a barbell where they're doing high bar or low bar. Most people do high bar. I think there's a good carryover to that as well. Some people really dislike it quite a lot, so we just don't do it. But I think there's a good reason to have a safety bar. Probably not as high as a trap bar in terms of, we were thinking about having every gym should probably have one. But I think I'd still put it in the A category.
It's on the border of being like a essential type, because I think it is good for like as you said, as a front squat alternative. Like a lot of people, I think most people don't front squat because of the setup. Like it's just such a pain, like mechanically to set up if you don't have good shoulder mobility or you don't want to, come the old cross method.
Well, I'll put the safety squat at C tier. I'm bumping it down.
Wow. Yeah.
I got to grade these, and I don't think
Fair
it's
enough.
essential. I think it does teach a good squat pattern, but why not try to learn how to front squat? If we're starting from the beginning, let's learn how to get good thoracic extension, how to set your shoulders in a good position. It probably takes a bit of coaching to really be able to do that, but I think that should be the goal with the front squat. Safety squat bar is good. You can do some good variations with it, but definitely not essential at all.
All right, cool. So maybe put that in sort of a B-ish, low B sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's the bars. We've got the next couple. So racks in general, I mean, obviously, I think we can all agree it's
an
A tier to have a
A
rack.
tier.
I don't know any gyms, even the worst gyms, that don't have a rack. But I guess
Yeah.
within that category,
To me, again, I was like A tier because I want a good quality rack. I want like something with good J hooks on it, something with some good safety racks, something with the utility that you can bench and squat in. You can maybe overhead press even if it's out the front of the rack or whatever. So
chins.
do chins off of like a pull-up bar on it. Just a good quality rack. I would rate right up there.
And I think too that the difference between like an actual full cage that's enclosed in versus like a rack with like a half rack with freestanding arms, that's a big difference. If you're lifting heavy, like if you're squatting, I think like the security of actually having a full cage to be in, like that makes a big difference. Doesn't seem like it would, but
And also because you can bench in it, and unless we're like you, I think the only one that can do bench out of a half rack.
The squat rack. Benching
The
squat rack.
thickness to bench out of a squat rack.
The old thick
Just-
THRCC.
Just double C
Just
on
get
the
fat during
thickness.
COVID.
Yeah.
You two can bench in the squat rack.
Just half rep and you can bench in a squat rack.
Yeah, just training lockout. Yeah, okay, cool. So I guess we could probably honestly do a whole topic on, or like a good bit of a topic on racks. But in general, obviously, your gym needs to have multiple racks.
Multiple racks,
The more the better.
and those rigs honestly aren't very good.
Those rigs are terrible.
Yeah, I rate a good cage, like Ned said. Even a half rack's better than a rig. They never really work that well. They're a bit flimsy and never have good attachments that come off them.
Again, another invent of CrossFit that is not good.
Yeah,
We spoke about the 4 meter wide bumpers last week.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Platform, same token. So like an actual dedicated, like a deadlift platform.
I'm put that in A tier, but I really don't care about using a platform. Like I'm happy just to go off the floor. But if your gym has a platform, it means they're happy for you to deadlift there. And I know it's pretty commonplace these days, but we've all been sort of scarred from our early days in the gym where the manager calls you out for dropping the plates on the floor or making too much noise deadlifting. So I think the sign of having a platform in a gym is they're happy for you to bang some weights and deadlift there, and it's a safe place for you.
I think it's good signs if you have multiple multiple platforms in your gym too. That's always good.
Yeah, and then there's always that one guy that asks if you can do ollie lifts in the platform. If that's like right in front of the mirror, I'm like, probably not, bro. CrossFit, again, getting killed.
Oh, yeah, Olympic lifting's alright. Let's not bundle that in with CrossFit.
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. CrossFit's tarnished that.
Yeah.
Tarnished that. Fair point. Okay, cool. Moving on. So we got through kind of all the most
serious
the
ones,
serious
yeah.
ones. Like when we were putting this list together. So obviously we could do equipment for 10 years. Like pick every single machine. We kind of from here on out we kind of tried to pick things that like at least a decent percentage of gyms don't necessarily have. Well, not the next one. Smith machine is the next category. Oh boy.
A.
Oh no.
Did you actually A tier it?
I did.
Oh, you mad lad. Look at you go.
Loves the vertical leg press.
I used to. I used to be a Smith machine hater, and I still don't use it that often. But I think they are required in all
Why would you
gyms.
A tier that? Like, you know, there's
I know.
other tiers than A. Like
I know,
B.
I know, but I think it's super important to have. And why would every gym in the world have one?
Because people think they're good.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got a few more down the bottom here that a lot of gyms have. That
I'd say they're good
like-
for squatting, especially for narrow stance, quad-based squats, very microcell squats. And I think for incline pressing as the main two movements, I probably wouldn't deadlift in there very often or at all.
Is that a
but
thing? I've never done that before. A
What's
deadlift
that?
on a Smith machine.
It's a thing.
Is
See,
that
that's
a
the thing I
thing?
wouldn't
That's
have it
100%
for.
a thing.
Oh,
mate.
nah.
Or bent rows.
Oh, you know, I've done that before. That goes alright.
Oh, you reckon? I was going to trash on it because it's like an A to B bar par.
Yeah, no, it's not
Same
good,
as deadlifts.
but you know, out of the 3 acceptable exercises doing a Smith, that's almost one of them.
The third one would be good mornings.
Good morning. What?
They're fantastic.
I reckon a lunge is about
And okay,
Yes,
it's
a
fourth
lunge,
one.
a split squat, lunge,
Yeah,
whatever.
big
That's
time.
I rate that. I get for some clients doing like push-ups and they can't do them off the floor. It's really handy to just put it up and down and have the different rungs there. So that's about the utility. If you go on at home, you could probably hang your washing off it, and that might
Yeah,
that,
good.
that's a use.
That's what the treadmill's for. The home treadmill.
The treadmill, yeah.
Clothes rack,
Traditionally, yeah.
towel rack.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What did you rank it, Ned?
Oh, I actually put it C.
Yeah, C.
And like
Oh.
on the key we have here, was sort of like C was like, it does have some utility, but then also like you could definitely go without. Like I think I would probably just use it for like pressing, and then like some sort of leg based movements, maybe some lunging where you kind of like a split squat, having a vertical bar path is actually pretty good versus having free rate to do whatever you want. But yeah, I had it C, so I don't know. Ryan's at, what'd you put it in, Cal?
Put it in D.
D.
Yeah.
Yes. So I guess that averages out. A
So
and C is a bit
not
so it
very
averages
good.
out to a C, I guess.
Like I wouldn't care if it's not in a gym. Not in my program at all.
Don't have more Smiths than actual racks in your
Oh.
gym. It's like the one thing. Like it's like some Planet Fitness. That's
I
a
went to a
perfect
Planet
example.
Fitness and I had to squat in it, and it was trash.
Yeah, because they don't have. That's funny, like because it's obviously the same in the States.
Yeah.
Like you kind of think they have less restrictions on things, but like I'm pretty sure the reason they only have that, I guess they don't want people to lift super heavy, but like I thought part of it was like an insurance thing too, where like, you know, after hours and that sort of thing.
I think that was the idea originally. But
they just never evolved.
Smiths are like the most dangerous piece of equipment in a gym. That's like a guillotine right there. Like, you know, if you're benching on it and you don't put the safeties in properly or something like that, like you can't roll the bar off you. Like it keeps pushing down on you.
Yeah, but you just the number of times I've helped people like got stuck on a bench on a Smith machine.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, when you're like failing, just like lock it out. That one and collars on the Smith are the two ones that do my head in, man.
Yes.
I used to feel a chick at the gym I went to, and I explained to her 100 times. I'm like, you realise the bar can't tilt enough for a plate to come off. But she just still wanted the safety of it.
Safety first.
Man. So I think Smith ends up around about a C on average there.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's cool.
Next one, this shows how much we, what sort of stuff we do in the gym. We have cardio just as a whole category. Just cardio.
Cardio.
No specific machines, just cardio.
So what's the next one? No.
Us, so we agree on that? No, so I mean...
C.
I think this is fitness for purpose, right? This is like, what do you actually want? Like, there's obviously, you can't say there's no merit to cardio machines. Like, you know, there's obviously merit.
Sure. I give it a D tier again. Like, I'd rather just go outside and go for a walk or something rather than use that. If we're talking about like a rower or something like that, like a higher interval
soul
thing.
bike or something.
Yeah, soul bike. And if you want to do some intervals, then that's cool because you can't really do that outside. But if you're just going for a walk on a treadmill, like, you know, I'd rather go outside and walk outside and get some fresh air and stuff. You know?
Yeah, what about you, Ron, bro? You love a bit of cardio.
I put it at level C.
Level C.
Yeah,
C.
I think for gyms, they'll be silly not to have it, obviously for the amount of people that use them. For my own stuff, I would actually probably have it way further down than C, but I think it's good to have, but I rarely use it.
Yeah. Next one's going to trigger some people, mainly Brian probably. Hip thruster bench.
A.
A tier.
You don't need it because you can just use a normal bench, but having the hip thruster bench, especially ones that allow for band attachments, is very handy. And yeah, the thrusters a must.
Well, I've gone E tier because I don't care.
I'm not surprised.
It's so there's just no need for it. Just use a bench. Like you could have two benches instead of having one hip thrust on the footprint it takes up in a gym, and you can use them for so many other things as well. I feel like it's not needed.
Well, safety wise, it would be more advantageous than a normal bench, so it doesn't flip back. At least it's got the foot placement there to stop the.
No, I reckon it does flip back. Oh, you mean
the actual bench itself? And you just put 20 kilo plates on them sometimes to stop them moving if you don't rubber feet on the bottom of the bench.
Yeah, I don't really think it's that.
Yeah,
we're all gonna have some that we like bias towards on first.
Yeah.
I think that was always gonna be one. I put it in a C on the same sort of logic as a couple of these other ones where it was like, it's good to have, but you can definitely do the movement and definitely target those muscle groups. You can use it. You can do the povo setup with a bench and that sort of thing. Blocks.
Well, I think you summed it up. The povo setup.
Yeah.
And they're very cost effective too. They can get them for like $500 compared to like a.
This guy got a code or something. Promo code.
Yeah.
I should actually. The amount of promotion I've done.
Thrust is a must over here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very cost effective. Use my code.
Yeah.
I get $100 for every sale.
Yeah, I still feel like you can just put a bench against a wall or something and use that. Like, it's just like, I'm not bashing the exercise itself. Like, there's definitely good utilities for it. Yeah, not today at least.
Not anymore. Or?
But no, it's okay. It's like, I think we just, again, if we do exercises, I think we'll both rank the hip thrust on a very different, very different tier. That's all. But I don't think it's worth the money or the footprint it takes up in a gym. Because you could probably buy a good flat bench for $500, right? If that's what you're spending on that.
Yeah.
And you can bench with that too. Like you can do all your rows and all your dumbbell stuff as well. So it's just more utility.
Yep. Fair enough. I see your point.
But I see your point too. That's fine. That's your thing.
Should we have a cheers to that?
Oh,
I'm already done. Hey, I need number 2.
Oh, really?
I better leave the room. This is getting intimate. Okay, good. Here's another one. Okay, so we have good girl, bad girl machine on the sheet. Now, We probably need to explain it. Actually, given our audience, we probably don't. But in general, if someone that doesn't go to the gym is listening to this,
Give me both of our audience.
it's all four of them, all four fans that like. I feel like this is kind of the name of the exercise at this point. It's not a derogatory thing. If you search it on Google and it comes up with the machine to buy, I think it's pretty there. So what we're talking about the glute abduction, adduction. So basically, you're pushing your knees apart, you're pushing your knees together. I'll let you work out the rest. But basically, I think, glute abduction or adduction. I put this as a B, and this might be like anecdotal from me, but I've had a lot of like adductor and glute med sort of things over the time. I think in general, like trying to get work. I mean, there's bands and stuff you can do, but trying to get that glute medius, external rotation through the knee, that knee valgus is a problem that a lot of people have. So it does have good utility, and is a bit more user friendly than actually using bands and kind of doing it the brunt force way, I guess. What do you guys think?
I've gone C tier for this one, but B's good because I think those two exercises that you can do on it are hard to do any other way. So even though they are quite niche exercises, this machine just makes it much more convenient to do. And I definitely rate the adductor, the hip adduction.
Because you and I have both done a bit of adductor rehab kind of work in the last little while, and I'll find like at one of the gyms I go to, they have that, and I find that's so good to use that.
Yep, absolutely.
For the adductor stuff specifically, which is hard to put. You can't even really do with a band otherwise. So
yeah, it's very awkward to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Pre-recording, I'd gone a C, but after your explanation, I've got it to a B.
We got some
Well
live
done,
changes.
Here we go.
I mean, to be fair, Brian took about 4 seconds to do all of them. Pre-recording, just ticked every box.
Possible.
Until you get to both.
Okay, so I think we're getting into some, not quite, we're getting into some juicy ones. We've got about 4 or 5 left on the gym equipment category. Then I think the last few, there aren't as many on the list. So we've got the sled, or sort of a prowler. So the old, push along the floor, bit of concentric quad work. What do we think on that one?
I'll go B there. I think they're very good to have. If we tie it in with cardio above, if I'm going to teach cardio, quote teach, I would prefer to use a sled or a prowler for that. Category B.
I'm just thinking it's like
even
weights is better at cardio than cardio.
If you're going to cardio, going to move some weight around.
Cardio lost even at cardio.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
I've gone C tier, but B tier is fair. I agree, somewhere in between there. It's a good exercise. Like it's fine. It's just it's a bit painful to set up and to add into your program. But I rate a sled drag or a prowler push or whatever you're doing. It's a good exercise.
Yeah, I put it as a D actually. I'm open to a sort of whatever. Like I think it's good to have. I think like it's got low cost. So again, if you're going from like the utility perspective, it's like you're not going to be able to get some big ticket item for the same cost. They're a couple $100. It's not. So from that perspective, I rate them. I think I'd be happy honestly with a C or a B or anything. So probably somewhere in the middle there. Not super useful, but not not the worst either. All right, last 4. We got some clickbait. We got some triggering that's going to happen here. The TRX, or the suspension strap sort of trainer things. Well, Cal's the EP. Cal's the allied health rep on the panel. What do you think, mate?
E tier. E tier.
The one chance I had it a B or a C.
Yeah.
E.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I don't. I've used a bit of the gymnastic rings, and you can do some okay stuff on that. But that's when I'm locked down at home and I got nothing else to use. So if I'm in a gym with other options, I'll give it a pass.
Yep.
I'd rather do
D.
pull-ups on a bar or something.
What'd you put, Brian?
D.
D. Yeah, I put in D as well. There is some, but I think as you said, Cal, where it was designed as an alternative, like workout at home, workout at the park versus using the gym. Like I don't think it was designed to be an alternative to that. So if you've got it at the gym, there's going to already be better alternatives to using that. Okay, cool. 2 last ones. Two of the best for last, guys. Clearly, the old Bosu ball, Ryan.
Category F.
F.
I don't think it's on there. We've got an E, but I made it.
Tier for this.
Below E tier is Bosu ball tier.
It's very comfortable
the Bosu
to
tier.
sit on though, or if you're lying down chilling on your phone. A Bosu ball is is quite effective, but no, that's about
F
it.
for equipment, A for seat,
Yeah.
A for furniture.
You can like jump off it and get a bit of extra air,
Okay.
which is a use that I
Yeah,
found.
slam
Yeah.
dunk on.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's about it, really. No.
No, we're all
My
the
old
same page.
uni lecturer used to say that we should melt them down and turn them into gym tiles because that's about the only use for them. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I'll put that there. Put that E tier, bottom of the bottom. The thing I think that makes Bosu's even worse is because it's sort of purported as like this, it makes everything better. Like, just because it's harder to do, like do a single leg pistol, do a pistol squat on a Bosu ball with one kettlebell overhead, and it's really, really hard. But just because something's stupidly hard doesn't make it actually useful or effective, right?
Yeah, it makes it much less useful and effective.
So it's like squatting on the ground, that's fine. Squatting on a Bosu ball, which makes it harder to balance, is not improving your stability.
That's like saying just close your eyes whenever you're doing a squat or a deadlift and it becomes harder, so it means it must be better. It's
Yeah.
not better.
Yeah.
It's just you can't see and it makes it harder to balance. So.
Yeah, I think they get it probably doubly worse because it's sort of a lot of people probably think it's good. Or like people I guess there's some merits. We shouldn't sell it to like change of direction maybe in like a sporting context or something like dynamic, really unpredictable, sporadic stability maybe. Or
maybe in like ACL rehab or something like that. Possibly. But how did they get into every gym? Like that's the marketing team behind Bosu Balls.
A+ for marketing.
Yeah, well done. Same with TRXs too.
Yeah, and the last one, the old ab crunch machine, or just ab machines in general. Abs that is not done on the floor. What do we got?
C or D. So I think if you have them, why not use them? But I
I'll
certainly.
give you some reasons.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
I've gone C. I don't mind.
Oh, really?
Don't mind them. I think.
I rate the sit up or the old school one. If you don't have any back issues, like get a bit of hip flexor involvement, which isn't the worst thing anymore.
You're not thinking decline bench.
I'm thinking like a decline bench.
I'm thinking
that thing really hurts. Like,
Yeah,
have you ever done it before?
I've done it. Like it gets. I guess if you have an aesthetic goal, if you're physically trying to like get abdominal hypertrophy, like you want your rec abdominis to like be more developed. Yes, but I just think like for me, there's not really any merit to being strong in a thoracic extension and flexion, like in that movement, right? Like if we're talking the out, like we spoke about last week, like the intent of exercise is to and thinking about that in terms of your programming and your training. The intent of having abs, having a strong core, is to to have spinal rigidity,
create stability,
stability. Where doing an A to B movement for your abs does not really do that because we don't ever use those. We never do those movements where we need stability. It's always you're in a neutral spine position where your abs are stabilizing, right? So for me, I put it as an E on the basis that it has no real carryover except for like a hypertrophic abdominal sort of thing, which is not something most people really need unless you're a bodybuilder, I guess. That was my reasoning.
I don't blame you at all. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the whole first category, gym equipment. I think that's actually, we got into that pretty well. I thought this would be pretty, we had there's some hot takes in here, I guess, but I think the next two will be definitely a bit more. So we've got lifting accessories. So we're talking your straps, your wraps, your knee sleeves, all that sort of stuff. So we've got belt to start. This might be interesting.
A tier.
Yep.
The Harbinger.
Well,
Harbinger, obviously.
You can't bring Harbinger in.
Okay.
Just got to say belt in general. Obviously, Harbinger is above A. Harbinger is the S tier.
So it's like when it comes to belts, we got Harbinger as the A or S tier, and then we got like a lever belt as like the B tier after that, right? And then
I put belts in general as a C.
A C,
C.
Yeah, here we go.
I don't use a belt that much, but I think it depends on your context. I think unless you're Ryan, say stuff on the mic, bro. Don't be sledging me out 4 meters away across the table in secret. I think like on a lot of exercise that people use a belt with, there's not a lot of carryover in terms of strength. You know what I mean? Like I would argue that a deadlift and especially like bench and then a lot of other like even like a heavy bent over row or something, there's not really a direct carryover to strength. Like it doesn't make if you're stronger with a belt, it's not because you're wearing the belt, it's because mentally you think, oh, I'm wearing a belt. You know what I mean? Like, or something like a squat.
Which is very important, though.
Yeah, of course. I guess, yeah. Which is like something like a squat, though, where it's actually helping you create keep neutral spine, keep spinal rigidity, which will actually in turn give you, added strength. So I'd say I'm like that compared to like different other movements, which I guess I'm wrong.
You talked yourself out of it.
Talked myself out of
Didn't have to say a single thing.
Oh shit.
I think the belts are good. Like they actually make your abs work harder. They work more efficiently than if you weren't to wear a belt. And if your weakest link in an exercise is that you can't hold your lower back, your abs in the right position, then chuck a belt on and do that and be able to perform the exercise. So belts are good. But yeah, get like a lever belt or a prong belt. Don't waste your money on like a Velcro belt. That's about all there is to it. Really.
I think learn why you use a belt as well, and I think that's where we're all on the same page there. Learn how to brace properly, and kind of work your way up to quote deserving to use a belt. I think that's
and how tight to wear a belt too. I think this is one where like it's not that it's wrong to wear your belt the entire session. Well, it is, but like,
it is.
The reason it's wrong isn't just because it's wrong because if you physically can wear a belt for a whole session, that crap is not tight enough. Like if you don't want to get that belt off straight after your set, that shit is not tight enough, man. Like,
well, I think you don't have to go super tight. Like you should be able to like have a little bit of room that you just when you push out against it, it's very tight. But when you can still breathe to a degree. That's how to tell if a belt's fitted well.
It shouldn't be like allegedly like comfortable.
It's not comfortable.
Wearing it around the gym, you know what I mean? Like these bodybuilder types do, where it's like
it's not doing much for
preacher
you.
curls with the belt. Hell yeah.
I think they just makes their waist look slimmer or something. Like when they wear those wrist wraps, it makes their forearms look bigger.
We not have waist trainers on here.
Waist trainer.
obviously there's an A.
There's an A too. Yeah.
Ryan's wearing one right now. Oh, damn.
It wouldn't fit after COVID. No.
Okay. I think this category right now is going to have the most hot takes, like across the board, because I think we all use different stuff. So the next one is straps. So like, it doesn't have to discriminate. It can be figure eight. It can be single loop straps. Basically, wrist straps.
Grips and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, grips. Anything that aids gripping, basically.
Yeah.
Category A for me.
A tier.
Yep.
You rate a strap.
Jock strap.
Strap-ons.
Yeah. I was wondering who was going to be the first person to say strap on, but it was just sitting there, and I was like, don't take
Some low-hanging fruit, buddy.
But, yeah. I dropped it to B tier. You don't need them. Like you know, when you're starting out, just work on your grip.
Yeah.
Use it if you have to use it, but don't rely on it. You know, if you're interested in doing a powerlifting competition, you obviously can't wear them. So, you know, just train your grip up so you're strong enough. If you having some problems holding on to something and that's your point of failure, and you want to still keep training through it, then wear them. That's all there is to it, really.
Good for deadlifting and for back training. I think when, as you said, if that's a failure point, say you're trying to get a few more reps in your rows and that sort of thing, I can see that they serve a purpose, but definitely getting grip strength, that would be ideal. And how to get grip strength would be just turn up as more often than not and keep training over time.
Without straps.
Without straps.
Is that the only way?
No, there are other ways, but
yeah, you guys literally just said my point where it's like with all the lifting accessories, I think it's the same point we raised really last week with exercise selection, where it's think of the intent. So a lot of people I think just buy stuff, buy accessories, buy sleep, whatever it is, and don't really understand, like they just use it because they can use it. I think with straps, I put them in a B, but I could make the argument for A, because as you said, if the reason you can't deadlift heavier, which inherently is not directly like a grip based exercise, right? Like there's forearm, you use forearm muscles in the deadlift, but it's inherently it's training your posterior chain, your glutes, hams, back, all that sort of stuff. If the reason it's breaking down is because your grip's not strong enough, then you use an accessory, you're actually optimizing the exercise, right? You're making it better because you can increase the load, which actually trains the muscles that you want to train. Whereas just wearing it for the sake of it on a row or a lat pull down or something, it's like defeats the purpose. So I put it B just on the basis of, I actually think probably is a hot take, but more directly than a belt, it increases your optimization of a movement on the basis of, I think it's easier, like more people have a base spinal stability, base abdominal stability than have base grip. You know what I mean? Like you'd have someone with strong legs that's never held anything, they've never done gym work.
If someone didn't care about grip strength, say for like a powerlifting point of view, which is most people are not going to ever get on the platform, and the straps help them to row more or deadlift more or then I'm all for it, because their care factor for the grip isn't that high, but they can actually probably move more weight over time and more sets. Then I think it's fantastic to have them as an option. You can use them or not, it's up to you, but having them available is better than not.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all fairly useful, I'd say.
They're cheap too, so whatever.
That's right. That's the thing with most of these. Like, a good belt's expensive, and some of these other ones are, they get up there a little bit, but they're all. A lot of these accessories are pretty minimal costs. You can get them from your local, sports or supplement shop or whatnot. Next one's wrist wraps. So we're talking, compress your wrist there, pressing movements mostly.
I went B tier. They're good. Nice when you bench, you can keep your wrists a bit more neutral, so you don't have to worry about it as much. But definitely not really needed when you're new to the gym. So if it's your first 6 months to a year in the gym, don't worry. But something you can look at getting when you're ready.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, same. I think I put them C, on the basis of I think there is actually merit to having like being able to maintain a rigid wrist when you press. I think if you had someone that never trained and they used wrist wraps from day one in all their pressing work,
yeah, for sure,
the old limp wrist,
no good
wrist. That's not gonna. Whereas with straps, I don't really think it's gonna. Like, I think there's a cap towards your forearm strength, your grip strength. Whereas I think with just being able to maintain a neutral position through your wrist it's not that hard to improve. I remember at times when with dumbbells and stuff, but. So I'll put it C. I don't think, and they have carryover in squats as well, I guess, low bar squatting, which is fun. Cool. Knee sleeves. So we're talking knee sleeves.
I went C tier. Like, I don't think they really do a whole lot for you. They just sort of feel nice. So warmth, I guess. But yeah, they feel good when you put them on. So I like to use them, but I don't think you really need to go out and buy them.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think also they can be good for your split squat work as well, because say you're doing lunges or say Bulgarians or whatever movement, at least you have a reference point for hitting the ground each time without smashing your knee. The knee sleeves can add a bit of, I guess, point to hit the ground with without hurting yourself. Outside of squatting, of course. Do you need them? Most people don't, but I think they're good as maybe sometimes a bit of a reward for some people who get a bit stronger. They go, oh, okay, the next step for you is knee sleeves, so they kind of feel like they're doing a bit better. And that's, I think, another thing we can probably talk about another podcast, like the mental side of things. But I think I'll probably put them in a B. I personally like them in A, but B's pretty good.
I put C. I put C as well. I think you can go without them. Maybe good to have, but you can definitely go without as well. Next one, same sort of vein, knee wraps though. So knee wraps, we're talking cut off the old circulation from your knee down.
D tier. I think if anything, they're probably bad for your knees to wear, and they're very niche. Like, if you're a powerlifter and you're going to compete, put them on. If that's what you want to do.
Depending on your federation.
Yeah. Like, you don't need them. Don't worry. Just you might be able to lift a little bit more, but what's the point? Like, you may as well just work your squat up. If you squat 20 more kilos, I'm sure someone else can squat more than that anyway. So don't worry. Just go on your own. Wear some sleeves if you want, or just go nothing.
All right, let's power through a few of these. I feel like we're ranting on.
Yeah.
The old gloves.
We're
not talking COVID gloves. We're
Category
talking
never.
Lifting gloves.
Category, I'll take that back. I did used to use them back in the day.
Here we go.
Hey, who hasn't here? Come on.
My first.
I've never worn a glove.
My first ever gym.
My Nike ones. I thought it was a
pair of gloves. Yeah, Nike.
Oh, really?
Like when I was like 16. Yeah.
Category Z. Put up here.
Z. What about you, Cal?
I just put them in E. Like, if you don't want to get calluses on your hands, that's fine. But whatever. I like my calluses, so I don't want to wear gloves, but you can if you want to. There's nothing wrong with a glove.
Yeah, it's all good.
What's up next?
They don't increase actually. They're actually worse for your grip strength. Make people think. I used to train some beauty therapists that they need to have nice hands. They're the only clients I've ever let wear gloves. Everyone else I've talked out of, I was like, okay, that's fair enough. Occupational.
I was like, you can wear gloves, but I'm gonna talk shit to you if you do. So
Yeah,
just
better have thick skin.
yeah, exactly.
So bad. All right, chalk.
A, for that reason, for grip, I think that's good to have.
For grip. Yeah, for sure. I put it as B, but A is
Yeah.
fine too. I think either that or straps is a good backup to have for if you feel like your grip's slipping. But yeah, chalk's good.
I put straps B, chalk C, just for clean-up effect.
Yep, yeah, fair. This is gym management coming through here.
I can don't clean it. Leave it. Looks authentic.
Okay. The old back slap with the handprints.
Yeah.
Don't use chalk unless it's actually hard. Like, you don't need chalk if you're deadlifting 60 kilos.
Or
Like,
chins.
yeah,
Machines.
if it's something that's actually really hard for you to grip, then put chalk on. But you don't need it for every exercise. Like, it doesn't do anything if the grip's actually not hard to hold on to. So
Yeah, I feel that. We got heel elevated shoes for squatting.
I chuck that in a B. I rate them.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I had this really low, and then actually Callum brought up a good point the other day. That was a lot of people lack good dorsiflexion. In through their ankles. They actually lack a lot of ankle mobility. So
Yeah, for sure.
I don't personally use these because I have pretty good ankle mobility, but
Yeah.
I think for the average person, it is actually probably pretty common. So I could probably put them up for that one. So yeah.
No, it's actually, I would say out of this whole section, like belts number one, but go buy that first.
Yeah.
And then probably shoes are number two after that if you need them. I actually have pretty good dorsiflexion, and I still like to wear my squat shoes anyway. I feel like I can still align my pelvis in a better position while I'm like throughout the squat when I wear them. So there's nothing wrong with heel elevator shoes if you're getting more serious about squatting.
Yeah, sounds good. Ryan, you could just do what Brian does and just gets a custom box built for heel elevators.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to get on the record here and say above like a 1 to 2 inch sort of wedge, you don't need anything more than that. Like those fat boxes are like your heels up on like a thick plate or something. Like you're just going to put more shear force through your knee. Like you only need a little bit. Anything more than that's just going to push you onto your toes and put more force through your knees. So just get a sensible sized wedge to put under your heel, or wear the heel elevated shoes. No more than that's needed, I'd say.
Yep, cool.
All right, that's the end of the second category. In the essence of time, let's power through the old supplements. So I think we should preface this. No supplements are actually essential, right? You don't actually need any supplements. But let's do it in the way of, if you are going to spend, like say Timmy has $100 a month to spend on subs, where should that money
Bloody
go?
hell, Timmy's.
Timmy's a
decent
baller.
amount.
He sells drugs on the side. That's not a real person. So if the point is that if they're going to spend, they're going to buy some subs. Where should that go, right? So we got your old protein up first. I mean,
Well, I put that in A because it's very handy to have a tub of protein available. It shouldn't be a supplement because it's a macronutrient, but I know it's sold at supplement stores.
right at Oxford Dictionary over here.
Oh, jeez, all right.
Righto, Adam Holland.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary definitions over here.
A tier. Like if you're gonna buy something, you may as well buy some protein. You don't need to.
Yeah,
You can just eat some meat or some yogurt or some shit. But it's easy. Like it's handy.
I think it probably is though. If you actually buy on bulk online, it probably is per like gram of protein. It's actually a lot cheaper than real food.
Oh, absolutely.
It's actually the prices you can get these days is pretty good. So nothing wrong with a bit of protein.
Especially if you get a group of people getting a couple of kilos and you get like 10, it can take it down from like $30 down to $18 a kilo.
If you're paying any more than like 25, maybe $30 a kilo tops, go somewhere else. Like
Most people are.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like if it comes in a tub and it has branding on it, do not buy that protein because it's
$18 a kilo.
marketing.
18 is the last.
It's also worth being careful that you're getting from a reputable source, because a lot of the time it's like skim milk powder that you're buying. Like make sure it's actually good protein.
Wait, that's expensive.
This is a good
Nice,
when we get Adam on the next
Tastes
couple of
good.
weeks, I think that's a good topic to talk about, is like quality of whey protein.
Yeah, next
Yes.
week let's tee it up.
Yeah.
Cool. What about the old creatine?
Well, there you go.
I've gone A tier because
Yep.
it actually has science behind it that it does work. It's one of the rare supplements that does something. Yeah, but
That's a great sentence. It's one of the rare supplements that does something.
No, I think you meant to say rare supplement that does something.
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh no, well I put
a
whey
thing.
in that category. I don't know, but yeah, creatine's good. You have to use it properly though. Not many people do. Like,
yeah.
you have to take it every day, not just the days you train. And I think you're supposed to take 5 milligrams.
Actually,
if I
yeah.
remember.
If you load it, like there's a couple of different ways.
You don't
I guess.
have to load,
Some
but you
people
can.
do it
Yeah.
for I guess for like the water retention side of things too, where they want to load, they want to retain more water and then drop water. Like but for the performance side of things, I think it's you do 5 milligrams a day.
And don't get it wrong that when I say it works, if you're doing a set of 12 and you've taken creatine religiously, you may be able to do 13 reps instead of 12. Like that's all it does.
The level, yeah.
It's like a 1 to 2%er. It's not going to change your world. So don't think it's going to, be massive, but it does actually do something. So it is worth having a go if you want to.
Yeah.
Anybody in this room currently cycling creatine?
Oh,
No, actually,
I'm natty, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Don't even
Off the
insinuate
creatine.
that. I'm natty, bro.
No, I haven't really been bothered to.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, don't really take anything.
I mean, we're having beers, having a podcast, so I think it kind of
I think you get
that
to that
1%
point
is now taken out anyway. So
with training where at the start, even though you're really newbie, you think all this stuff, you think everything's really serious. And I can remember going through, or maybe when you're a couple of years in, you go through a really serious phase, and then you're like, you don't want to go out, you want to have your meal prep on you all the time, you're really like driven by it, and I think you come like kind of full circle like over time, and then you get to the point where
you settle into the I guess it's a lifestyle or whatever, like just the training.
like you said, you realise these things are like, we're talking single digit percentages where like,
But I reckon sleep has a much bigger effect.
Stress.
Like just drinking water, like drink a lot of water in your day. Yeah, stress management, like all those other things have a bigger effect than creatine. Like
sure.
So get those down first.
We've got a few left. The old pre-workout. Pre-workout.
personally, E or D.
Ryan can't take pre-workout.
No, I've got a bit crazy. Like one shot of coffee
that's
for me a day, and I'm good. But
We're the opposites. I'm a pre-workout fiend.
Yeah.
I love the pre-workouts, man.
To be honest, I actually I'd have coffee instead. Like I don't really, because I think I've probably had some dirty pre-workout in the past where I feel just a bit like anxious or agitated and shit, and I don't want to feel like that when I'm training. So
yeah, if the metric is like performance enhancing, I would put it E.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
it doesn't actually make you stronger. I take it for like the psychological thing. Like I find it so hard to get up for a session and like be in that tunnel vision zone. And I feel like if I get a good pre-workout and I've got good music, it's a similar sort of thing to that where it gets you psychologically like kind of geared.
a bit more in the zone.
Which I think does in turn actually maybe enhance your performance because you do either do a bit more volume or you do, you maybe get that extra couple of reps. But it's not essential. I'll put it probably like, it should be a C. I put it like a B because I have personal bias, but probably C, middle ground. If you like it, take it. If you don't.
I think going back to what Callum said is that you're better off having a good night's sleep as opposed to relying on pre-workout, for example.
And if you train in the morning, then it's probably cool. But if you're training at night,
You can
the actual
stop your
half-life
sleep,
of caffeine's like 7 hours or something, I think. So it takes a long time for the caffeine to come out of your system.
Just get used to sleeping on 4,000 milligrams of caffeine a day, like me.
But the thing is that you may be able to go to sleep even after you've had a coffee or you have that caffeine in your system. But you'll find that your sleep is lighter. It's not as deep as it would be if you didn't have any caffeine in your system. So you might not get as much effect from that sleep that you get even if you do fall asleep.
Fair. Kill the move science. All right, we've got 4 to go. We got the old intra-workout or BCAAs, branched-chain amino acids. What we got on that bad boy?
Well, a lot of evidence to say it's rubbish. Flavoured
Yeah,
water.
there's not a whole lot.
Flavoured water.
E-tier. I've had these for free before and I've used them and it's fine. It's like a nice drink to have while you train.
More water.
Yeah.
I put a D for that reason. It just helps you drink more water.
Yeah, in a cut, I think they're fine, not for anything adding value, but more just because it tastes nice and you have limited food.
Don't
and
spend a lot
that
of
sort
money.
of thing. But the intra-workout part beforehand, I'm like, I'd rather eat some rice cakes during my session, get some carbs in.
I've had an intra-workout which is like a carb that you drink, and that was okay because I was just getting extra carbs in while I'm training. And I've also I had this weird BCAA that had caffeine added to it, but it was really shit because drink that during my session, and then I would start to feel the caffeine kick in like on my way out of the gym. So I'm like, oh, now I'm like ready to do something, and I'm finished
So
at the
turn
gym.
around and
So,
go back.
yeah, right. Like
Do
you
day
need
3 and
caffeine
day
before.
4.
Yeah. I just drink it all day. So
Yeah, right. And we've got probably like of this whole list of everything we've done. We've been talking about an hour now. These last 3 are definitely probably, if you've got cash to spend, these are, you're gonna definitely get the most bang for buck out of these last 3.
here we go.
We got the multivitamin staple of every bro's diet.
C.
So, it's actually,
Maybe high.
oh really?
Well, I don't like. There's a multivitamins. Okay,
I
like
guess there's no downside really.
it's money that
Well,
you're probably going to piss out because they are
The
water
downside
soluble.
is yellow urine.
Yeah, yellow urine. Yeah, highlight
Extremely
yellow.
yellow.
That's what, like if you don't think you're eating a well balanced diet, like you can have a go. It probably won't really change your performance in the gym, but there's worse things to spend your money on than a multivitamin. Have a crack if you want.
Yeah, that / don't really care.
Don't care, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. The old test booster.
I put this in every category possible.
Everyone possible. And we're not actually talking testosterone. That would be like AAA.
Yeah.
Performance enhancing.
Unfortunately.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Now we're talking the old caps, the old... I love with the test boosters, it's like, they have to name it like sounding like a steroid. It was always like, it's like triandrabol and like all these ones, right? Where you're like, or your Adriol and stuff, where it's like, just name it something that doesn't, like they make it sound like a steroid.
Has anyone here actually tried a test booster?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you both have. Oh, shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you know, I might have
Back in
waxed
the
it in
day,
it, to be
bro.
fair.
Back in the day, yeah.
Ada Street, Taringa.
Oh,
That's where I
yeah,
found
yeah.
when I was in high school. I need this shit.
Oh, high school.
What did you take?
I was at Sup store at Ada Street.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know the one.
At
But
Taringa.
what?
Yeah, one of the test boosters.
you
I'm,
don't
I'm
remember
going
what it's
back many years, so I'm like, I need that. Or I was told I needed it.
Yeah.
So
I
I took
remember
it.
I took this one by Body Science, BSc Labs or whatever. It was called. It was called Triandrabol. I'm pretty sure. These
Oh,
little,
shit,
These
okay.
little blue caps, right?
Yeah.
But if you look into what's actually in them, right, it's like these weird, like herbal, like
Yeah.
things from Africa. This root,
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know, some Bulgarian root and stuff, and it's like. The science that you know the science is like dodgy on something when it has like the graphs and the studies on the packet of the thing, like here, please believe us. Like it was like, so the idea is like, I guess it's supposed to get your body to naturally increase testosterone production, but like it's total bullshit, obviously, right? Like,
Well, you never know what it's going to do to you, to be honest. Like, I feel like doesn't pass a whole lot of testing before it's sold as a supplement, so it's probably not the best thing to take. I think there's probably less risk from taking the real stuff, you know, if that's the route
Yeah,
you want
that's
to go. Wouldn't advocate doing that though.
Officially.
Officially, legally.
bunch of guys go home on the online
Yeah.
dark webs.
The
Oh, Callum
dark
told me
webs.
to buy
Yeah, oh shit.
Files.
I have tried some weird shit over the years though. I did try arachidonic acid, which is like supposed to increase inflammation. So the idea is that the effect you get from a workout creates more inflammation and can actually have a greater effect size. Did it do anything? Probably not. I don't know.
Right. And
No, no.
Many
years
I
ago-
can just tell you right now,
Many
Ryan heard Callum say, I've taken a lot of weird stuff, and his like brain is like, ding, 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 ding. We're talking supplements, Ryan.
This is on the record.
I've racked up dextrose before.
What? Why?
It's fun.
Just shelve it too?
Hey, no, definitely not. No.
Alright, well there you go, guys. That's definitely the clip we're using at the start of this episode. Alright, quality, alright. And to round out, ending with quality, the old fat burners or the old green teas, the skinny teas, the drink this and you're gonna get shredded.
Rubbish.
Fucking worst one possible. It's complete trash.
We got Bosu ball, we got gloves, and we got fat burners. What's the worst out of those three?
Fat burners.
Fat
Because
burners.
no, green tea's worse than fat burners, I think, as a supplement. I've read a study that says that the antioxidants helps kill free radicals, but free radical production is part of the response we want from training to create hypertrophy. So it's possible that drinking green tea supplements while you train might actually reduce the amount of effect that you get from training. So it might actually be a net negative rather than a positive if you take the X50s and stuff. I don't if that's true or not. I don't know. I've read a study saying that.
You lost me at radical.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lost me at green tea.
Yeah, right.
In general, I think, like we said, the consensus is probably you don't actually need supplements in general.
No.
But there are some good ones that if you do want to, fork out the cash.
Yeah, if you're going to get supplements, buy some whey, buy some creatine. If you want a pre-workout, do that if you want, whatever. Don't buy nothing else, really.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the list. Hey, we've chopped through that in a swift hour and 10.
That's not. It could have been a lot worse than that.
It could have been a lot worse. We could have. Well, I think we've cut through a lot. I think we've, aside from a few controversial ones, I think we're pretty much in agreement on most of these. That what's good is good and what's bad is bad.
I thought we would be on further ends of the spectrum with a lot of stuff there. So
I think this is. I can't believe how serious this one was. Versus
Yeah,
the last
right.
one we were just shit talking the whole time. This one's like we're like actually debating the merits of these things. So anyone that dropped off on the last one that was like, oh, these guys are just dickheads. Well, we're here, science.
And we're still dickheads.
Well, yeah,
Still dickheads, yeah.
But we're smart. We know what's up. All right, guys. Any closing thoughts?
no.
I think half kilo plates could have made it to the gym equipment list.
Oh my god.
Brian's going to bring up half kilo
There's
plates.
going to be a time where our names are just not going to be like even a thing. It's just going to be the half kilo plate guy
And a science dickhead.
the radical, the science dickhead. Freaking Walter White over here
Yeah.
with his radicals.
PH dickhead.
Here we go.
Yeah, and the guy that talks too much that fucking cuts everyone off.
Yeah, all right. I'll cop it.
Alright, closing out. Another week. Stand tuned.